What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some lovely new black Digimon to talk about from that upcoming set New Hero, and I, for one, am rather happy indeed. So let's go and start off having a look at a level 5 CaptureMamemon. Now, what we got here is a 6 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 7,000 power. It's got a Digivolution skill, so we're probably gonna be Digivolving it, but it's worth pointing out the 737 is the average for a level 5, so having a 6 cost to play normally does actually make it slightly cheaper than normal, and that makes me slightly happier than normal. But the reason we're playing this is for the skill. When you Digivolve, you may return up to 4 Digimon with Mamemon in their name from your hand or trash to the top of your deck in any order you like. And if you returned 3 or more, you may de-Digivolve 1 to one of your opponent's Digimon. Now, the translation we got from Ensan Gaming does suggest it is Digimon with Mamemon in their name, not Digimon called Mamemon, and that is kind of important because obviously this Digimon is itself called CaptureMamemon. And we've also got Big Mamemon from BT6 and Metal Mamemon from BT3 or EX1. So the fact of the matter is, yes, it kind of needs to be. We've got some Mamemon out there, but not that many. There are actually a whole bunch of Digimon that are not called Mamemon, but have Mamemon in their name that we absolutely do want to go and grab here. So this makes me pretty gosh darn happy. Seems like they thought about this and done it the right way round, and that's just, well, at the risk of sounding quaint, that's just spiffing. But why would we want to do this? What is the point of returning all of these Mamemon to the top of our deck? What are we gaining from it? I mean, you get de-Digivolve 1, which is lovely. And obviously you're stopping yourself decking out, which is lovely. But what else kind of is there? I mean, other than obviously making sure you draw into them. And the fact of the matter is, this might be one of those situations where we don't have the full story yet. This seems like something where I'm kind of nerdy when it comes to Digimon TCG. I do tend to follow this as close as I can. This seems like the kind of situation where I should be able, especially, searching on digimoncard.dev, which is awesome, I should be able to look at this and go, oh, they're doing it because of this. I'm not seeing the combo here, and if I'm being dumb and I'm missing something, please, please, please do let me know in the comment section. But the fact of the matter is, this lets you stack Mamemon on the top of your deck. But, Metal Mamemon from BT3's got Reboot, and when you Digivolve, you can recover a Virus Attribute level 7. Big Mamemon's a vanilla Digimon. The Mamemon that came around in BT6 has got Decoy Black, and when deleted, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less. And the Metal Mamemon from EX1, when you Digivolve, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add a level 6 Digimon with Machine and its type to your hand. Incidentally, you wouldn't want to use a skill with that, because that would guarantee there wouldn't be a level 6, because all the Digimon we've seen that have got Mamemon in their name are level 5, and that would literally defeat the point. So as it stands at the moment, there's no real reason to have all of these Mamemon on the top of your deck. This is also a data Digimon, and it is a mutant Digimon, and there aren't even any black Digimon that have skills based around that either. So it really is a little bit of a weird one, and generally, I can't say for absolute certain, but generally speaking, when this happens, there is another Digimon coming which is going to make it all make sense. For the time, it's an interesting skill. I'm just not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do with it. So let's move on and have a little bit of a look at Reunimon. 3 cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 1,000 power. What that basically means is that the 1,000 power is suggesting it's going to have a good skill. Well, when you play it, you reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck, and you add a Digimon with X antibody in its type, and 1 Yuji Musha card from your hand to your hand, and place as many cards on the bottom of your deck in any order you like, and we've seen Yuji, we'll have a look at him in a moment. So this is cool. If you're playing an X-Antibody deck, and we've seen there are some good X-Antibody decks to play, this gets you one of those cards and a relevant tamer at the same time. This is clearly going to give you extra consistency. This is clearly going to be a very good thing. If anybody's wondering, in terms of the big Digimon with X antibody, the ones you're going to be working up to, we've essentially got Omnimon X antibody, which came around in BT5. We've got the Alphamon that came around in BT6. And we've got the Doragoramon from BT7. Those are essentially the big X-antibody Digimon we may be building up to here. Obviously, there'll be more in the future, and yes, there are some other Digimon that are lower evolutions and all of that good stuff. But as it stands at the moment, they are the big ones to which we would be working up. Okay, cool. And incidentally, 2 of those 3 are actually secret rare. It doesn't really mean anything. I just think it's kind of a fun little note. So clearly, if you're playing any of those decks, this is an awesome skill. We've then got an inheritable skill that says on all turns, while this Digimon has X antibody in its type, it gains Decoy Black. Now, Decoy Black is a skill we've only seen it on Black at the moment, but remember the fact that it specifically says Decoy Black seems to leave the door open for other colours to be included in the future. They haven't been up to now, but they could be in the future, so keep your eye open. And this is an interesting skill, like I say, we have seen it before, whereby if this Digimon would be deleted by an opponent's effect, not a battle, an effect, you may delete this Digimon to prevent that deletion. I think it's fair to say you're probably not going to want to do that on something like an Alphamon, for fairly obvious reasons. You don't want to get rid of your big level 6, but it absolutely gives you options to get rid of some of your smaller Digimon, which seems kind of fun to me. Incidentally, none of those big level 6 and 7X antibody Digimon have deletion skills, but it is worth pointing out that maybe in the future there will be one, so even though you generally want to use smaller Digimon, it is at least an option there. Incidentally, even as I'm looking at all of the other X antibody, which are, level 4 and 5, still don't have any deletion skills. And I don't mean any good deletion skills. I mean, like, literally, I'm looking on DigimonCard.dev, and I cannot see a single deletion skill, so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. But still, having this as an option is really good, and if my opponent's using a skill to take out a Digimon I really want to keep on the field, you better believe it is a wonderful, wonderful thing that I could sacrifice a Digimon with Decoy instead, so this is pretty cool. I don't, like I say, think you're actually going to be using this as an inheritable skill when you get up to your big level 6s and 7s, maybe, but most of the time this is more using smaller Digimon to protect larger Digimon, which still seems pretty good to me, honestly. And then we end up with Yuji Musha. We've got a free cost to play, so kind of in the middle. 2, 3, and 4 is generally what we see. On your turn, when your Digimon with X antibody in its type moves from the breeding area to the battle area, you gain 1 memory and draw 1 card. And this is great. Like, legitimately brilliant, great, over-the-top, awesome, brilliant, great. It's very reminiscent of the Matashita from BT6, when one of your Digimon with Gabumon or Garurumon in its name moves from the breeding area to the battle area, you gain 1 memory and draw a card. And that's a great, great card in Gabumon decks. This is going to be a great, great tamer in X antibody decks. I mean, basically, the best things you can do in a Digimon TCG are gain memory, draw cards, and unsuspend, so you can use the Digimon multiple times during a turn. As far as I'm concerned, they're the big 3. I don't think I'm missing anything obvious. I mean, security attack is good, but I would rather have extra uses than just extra security attacks. And this is giving you both extra memory and extra cards at the same time. And I made this point in a bunch of videos. Digimon is generally not a card game with great draw power. Some card games are. Digimon's not one of them. So being able to draw an extra card every other turn, because realistically you take it in turns, hatch, and Digivolve 1 turn, bring out the next, but every other turn you're gaining a memory and drawing a card. After a few turns, this is absolutely going to have paid for itself. Extra memory, good. Extra cards, good. And again, you can put it side by side with Matashita and go, well, Matt sees a whole bunch of play, so there is absolutely no reason why this wouldn't. As for the other skill here, on your turn, when your black Digimon with X antibody in its type attacks, you may suspend this tamer to add one card with X antibody in its type from your hand under that Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. And I should mention that it's played for free as a security card, like almost all. Well, they all are, but some have it as a security skill, some have it as a weird extra skill because they have an actual inheritable skill, but they all do it so far. It's a standard thing for tamers. So what I can essentially do then is put an X antibody down as an extra Digivolution source. And the fact of the matter is that some of these have really good inheritable skills. Now, Doraemon, for instance, this is the one from BT7. When you place a card under this Digimon as a Digivolution card, you gain a memory. And this is kind of weird, because obviously it doesn't count if this is the one you put under. But if you've already got a Doraemon, and then you put one under, hey, great news, now you're going to be gaining a memory, and as I've already said, gaining a memory is clearly a brilliant, brilliant thing. So as long as you've already got a Doraemon in your stack, you can gain a memory doing this. And yes, if you've got multiple Doraemon in your stack, you will gain multiple memory, and that's a really good thing. Or you've got the Doraemon from BT7, which will give you an extra 1,000 power, which is pretty gosh darn good if you're X antibody, but I'm assuming at this stage you very much are X antibody. Or you've got the Greymon, whereby if you've got X antibody in its type, you gain security attack +1, which is clearly a very good thing. And actually, this is going to be starting to sound a little bit familiar here, because we're just adding extra cards and getting extra skills. And remember that Doraemon, once per turn, when attacking, you may place a card with X antibody in its traits from your hand to the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost less than or equal to this Digimon's Digivolution cards. And I gave you Doraemon, Doragoremon, and Greymon last time round, and I'm giving them to you here. Although we don't have any new ones, except Reunimon to give you decoy, let's face it, there's gonna be some more. Like, there's no way they give you Ryudamon here and Yuji, and they don't give extra X antibody cards. They're gonna be in the set somewhere. So I've given you the options as they stand at the moment. Believe me when I say, ladies and gentlemen, there are going to be more in the future. This seems like a very, very good tamer, and I really feel like we haven't even got to the end of it here. But, you know, if you've now got a Doragoremon and you're attacking, you can put up to 3 new evolution sources down under it. That seems pretty gosh darn good. Combined with the draw power and extra memory, yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. So they're the new black cards. I know I am confused by CaptureMamemon because it seems like there's an obvious combo, but as it stands at the moment, that combo isn't there. I do absolutely believe that there is going to be something in the future. And then, of course, we've got those X antibody cards, which seem very, 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 very fun. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.